Tarek Abu Qadir has a long rehab process in front of him. He's resting here at his Tampa home. He's the American teen that was beaten by Israeli security forces, and he talked to me one-on-one. The summer didn't work out how you thought it would, did it? How hard has it been on you?
It's been pretty hard. It's been confusing.
Right. And I guess it all happened quickly too, in a short span. You were. Can you talk about the incident? I mean, it was on videotape. Have you seen it? Have you seen the videotape?
Yes.
What do you think?
It's rough to go through that. Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. I remember the way they hit me. It was pretty rough.
And from the video, you can see you were standing. Was it a courtyard, or where were you? How did this happen?
It was actually on the side of my land, but my house was a little up the street. Yeah.
And so you were just watching, or what?
I was watching what was happening outside.
And they just ran at you, or did you see them?
I saw some people running and screaming, and I saw behind them the soldiers. Then everybody began to run.
Did you run?
Yeah, I ran too because I was confused. I didn't know what to do.
And then they just caught you?
Yeah, they grabbed me, and they zip tied my arms behind my back, and then they started beating me.
I mean, how fast did it happen, or what were you thinking? Or
it happened so fast. I mean, like, I had to run so fast, so quick.
You know, in America, this doesn't. You're American. This doesn't happen. Did that surprise you because it's different? You know, did it surprise you?
It was difficult to live through that.
Yeah, and you think police officers, you know, in the U.S., they're held to a standard. You know, when you see the videotape, what do you think?
I think that they should be brought to justice. That it shouldn't, like, things should change.
Right. Did you see the pictures of your face?
Yeah.
That must have been. Did you recognize yourself?
Yep, kind of. It was different over there. I couldn't believe what happened to me.
So they held you for a period without going to the hospital. Was there pain during that time? Was there?
I was blindfolded, and I was bleeding, and I didn't know what to do.
And just stuck in a jail cell?
Yeah.
Were there other people in the jail cell? Was it?
Well, I didn't see because of the blindfold, so I didn't even know where I was.
So nobody was treating you? Nobody was looking after you?
Nobody was looking after me.
Wow. And then you went to the hospital. What did the doctors, do you remember what the doctor said?
I don't even think I was awake.
Yeah, at one point, I'll ask you about that actually, at what point did you pass out? Because you did, it seemed like your body was limp.
They beat me till I was unconscious. Well, I was awake for half the time. I was screaming at them. I'm telling them to stop while they're kicking me in the face and punching me in the face and kicking me in the side and punching me in the side. Until they kicked me a couple more times, punched me a couple more times, and I was out. I was unconscious.
Were you talking to them in English?
I was just screaming and saying stop. That's all I could do.
Yeah, so they obviously would have recognized they would have known you're American. Did they say anything to you? They just...
I wouldn't even be able to understand because they talk Hebrew.
Right. And they were talking Hebrew? Is that? Oh, yeah. When you ran, so take me through that day. You got up. Did you know there was going to be a vigil for your cousin that day, or did that just spontaneously happen?
It just happened. Everything happened so fast and so quick.
Right. And so you wanted to see and be there to support. And did you? Yeah, how were you able to cope with this? You know?
Well, It happened so fast, I didn't even realize what was happening. I didn't realize I lost somebody from my family.
Yeah, you're just thinking about yourself too. And so then you went through a court process. Did they take you in front of a judge?
Well, I went to court 2 times. They took me to court the first day, like they put me in jail. Then they took me out to the hospital. Then they bring me back in jail. Right when they take me back to jail, they took me from like an hour later after they bring me back to jail from the hospital. They took me to to the court, and I sat in the court for maybe 3 hours. Then they bring me back to jail. Then 3 days or 4 days later, I went back to court.
Did they explain did anyone explain the process to you?
No,
And you had no representation, you had no...
nobody explained it to me until we were in the court. It was my last court date, and there was a person that translated.
From the embassy?
I think so.
Yeah. Did you... They never charged you with anything, did they?
No, there was no charges against me. They had nothing.
And yet you had to stay in house arrest.
Yeah.
Are you angry now?
Well, at this point, I'm frustrated because I can't believe my family's going through that. Like, they're taking more and more people to prison without any charge.
And since you've left, actually, there's been issues, hasn't there?
It's been really hard.
Have you been communicating with your family in Jerusalem?
Yes, I've been communicating since I left.
And would you go back?
Definitely, I would definitely go back, and I'd love to go back, and I want to go back as soon as possible because I want to see my family. I don't want anything to happen.
But aren't you nervous that the Israelis might come after you again?
I am kind of like having that question in my head sometimes, but at the same time, they just do that to scare people, and when people get scared, they get happy.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough situation. Are you looking forward to school now, or what's next for you?
Me, I'm looking forward to school. I'm looking forward to finish school, and when I finish school, I'm looking forward to go back and see my family, maybe sit a little bit, and see what goes on.
What do you want to do for your career?
I want to become an engineer.
Yeah. And help with what? What are you hoping to build or design?
Well, when I start like trying to go for trying to be an engineer, then I'll make plans to help everyone.
So you want to help folks not only here in the U.S. but also...
Definitely. I want to help folks like all over the place. Whoever needs help, I help.
Has this... You had doctor's visits last week. Do you have more doctor visits coming up?
I need to go back to the doctor. I need to get more checks.
What are they saying? Are they telling you?
There's nothing wrong. When I got a CAT scan, there's nothing wrong, but I am having some severe headaches and some stomach pain.
You think it's like a post-traumatic stress, because of what you saw, what you experienced?
Yeah, but at the same time, what happened to me is not even close to what's happening to the people over there.
That's gotta really probably affect you with your family, because they're still rounding them up, aren't they?
Yeah, they're taking them and taking one after another.
Wow. Can you talk about your cousin a little bit, Mohammed?
Yeah, he was a really good friend. He used to laugh a lot. He used to crack jokes. He would try to make everyone laugh.
Yeah, and you were hanging out with him, right, in June? And
yeah, we'd go out every day. We'd go do stuff. It'd be really fun.
And that week, was a terrible week in your life, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. You had seen him just before, right?
Yeah, I was with him. I was gonna go buy him something from the bakery, and then I came back and found the cops.
So, I mean, going forward, I mean, are you okay? It's a lot for a teenager to deal with.
Well, as of now, I am alright, but I need to know, like, if there's anything really wrong.
Do you get nightmares? No?
I'm not, like, no, I'm not getting any nightmares, but at this point, like, it's really hard for me to like have to understand what they go through. Like, it's really hard for me to say, like, what happened to me was just like a taste of what they go through over there. It's hard to understand what your family's going through and how your family is living.
I appreciate it. Thank you for talking with us.
No problem.